I'm Kayla Ogden.
And I'm Rachel Sear.
And this is Write Your Heart Out, our podcast about writing.
Woo! Here we are.
Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, some writing that we've been doing. Rachel and I have been on a journey to sort of hone our craft as writers, figure out, who we are, what we like to write, and get published, essentially. We've had this one contest on our radar for a while.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you also know about it already, person who's listening. It's from the Novelry. It's called The Next Big Story. And you enter to win $100,000 prize.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
And a ton of coaching. Like it's really, they're setting you up to become an author and like make it your job, which is amazing.
Yes. They're like, this is your ticket to a life of writing. And they have like pictures of like a golden ticket on their website. And it does kind of feel like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory vibe in a way of like, oh my God, like
it does.
This could really, really change your life.
Well, did you see that the judges are also really cool?
Yes.
They have like, God, what's her name? It's not Evan Rachel. What?
They have Zosha Mamet.
Yeah, well, that one. But then there's also a woman who's an actress and writer.
Emma Roberts.
There we go.
Yeah, so...
I knew it started with an E.
Yeah, they have a bunch of big deal people who are going to be judging this. You can submit your story until, I think, July 31st. Yeah. And basically, they're looking for 3 pages, about 1,500 words, where they want you to just like really grip them and for them to be like, oh, this is the next big story that we're going to help you develop into a novel over the course of a year.
Yeah. I had sent in the first chapter of the Carolyn book. And now I think I'm going to try to send in the dinner for 8-1 because it's getting fun.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. But I cannot wait to hear more about the one that you're sending in.
Oh, right. Okay,
It's so exciting.
I wrote this thing. Basically, I was awoken in, the middle of the night, as happens to me, by my muse whispering in my ear and telling me like a story to write. And it's the kind of thing that I've been wanting to write. It's like speculative, dystopian future fiction. I want to write this kind of book because I feel like these kind of books have had such a huge impact on me when I was younger, like reading 1984 by George Orwell or A Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood or A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Like these things were so important to my development and the way that I saw power and the world.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, things like more recently that are kind of inspiring are like Sayaka Murata's books, who she does like really sort of, some people call it like weird girl lit. And yeah, just like, and also George Saunders, of course, his short stories. It's just like, if I could be on the shelf next to those kind of books, I would be so happy and excited. So I decided to just fucking try it. And I thought that this would be something that would grip maybe the people at the Novelry who are reading entries more than the book that I've already basically finished. Because the book that I've already finished, like if I were to just send in the first 3 pages, it's just sort of like, oh, here's a girl and her mom and, they are having a conflict.
Yeah.
And
it's good though. I mean, like, I really like that. Although, if you're trying to grab someone in a contest, definitely want to do something a little punchy.
Something, yeah, exactly. So I just basically wanted to put it all out. I built this world. It's this, like, island nation it's actually based on New Zealand, but I'm not gonna, like, say that ever, except for right now. And it's in the future, and in this nation, like all of the women have died and all the children have been sent away. So it's just men. The first 1,500 pages hint at how all the women died and talk about like this communist government that is in charge of the people and how they might be responsible for all the women dying and that kind of thing. So I wrote it and I looked at it and I thought it was really good. And then I just sent it in before even getting one person to look at it or talk to me about it. And then I was like, oh, I just want to show this to Rachel. So I sent it to Rachel. and she gave me some notes. And then I was like, damn it, I can't believe I already sent this when I have like these mistakes in it and like things that I could have made better. So I'm just kicking myself.
No, not mistakes. I don't think they're mistakes. I know that you're considering one of them to be a mistake, but I wouldn't say it is. One, they're not looking for a polished piece from the Novelry. They're looking for a diamond in the rough idea. And I think that that's really important. Like, that's an important factor. Because if you're already like a freaking ready to go on a shelf writer, they're going to be like, you don't win the contest, you know?
Right, yeah.
So, one, I don't think that was a mistake. Two, I loved reading it, and I'm so happy you sent it to me. Because the things that I thought were confusing, I'm glad that you helped. I'm glad that they were helpful notes. But, God, it was a great story.
The things that, do you want to say what it was?
The things that were a little confusing?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, hold on. But I'm going to start with the end, because I literally, at the very end, I wrote, like, I think I wrote, oh my God, no. Like, I was so upset that there was not more.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my
Didn't I write
God.
that? Oh my God, if I didn't, I meant to, because it felt so much like I need to know more about this world. So the things that were confusing were, I was I'm a little bit gender confused. Like, this main character, there's never an explicit big hint as to if it was a male or female. And I honestly thought that maybe it didn't matter in the story, which is like, I thought it maybe was a conscious choice. But when I realized that at this peak moment in this first 1,500 words, all the women were dead. And I was like, oh, well, wait a second. So this is a man? Like, I felt like I needed just a little bit more confirmation on that one.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to have a book that you never know what gender the character was. That would be so cool. That's not what I was going for. It's just one of those things where you know your world and your character and stuff. And sometimes you send something into the Novelry before you realize, like, oh, damn, I forgot to provide one clue. Because it's interesting that you said that, because I'm like, oh, yeah, all the women are dead, and you do discover that, but that doesn't mean that the main character didn't somehow survive, and like, that's the story. And then also it's like, oh, I have a scene where he's hooking up with his best friend who's female, but that doesn't mean that he's a man, like, at all. And so I'm like, okay, well, I want his gender, like, I don't need that to be a surprise or revealed. Like, that could be cool in other works, but I think for this book, I want the reader to be able to just imagine him right from the beginning.
Sure.
Because I find it disorienting when I'm reading a story and halfway through they're like, oh, his green eyes twinkled and his brown afro like hit the light or whatever. And I'm like, what? I thought this was like an Asian guy, like, you know.
Totally. Yeah.
It makes me feel weird and like have to try to like reimagine things.
Right.
I don't want to put the reader in that position.
Right.
And also, being that I'm building a speculative world, something I want to mention is that, like, when I was younger and I tried to read Dune, I tried to read sci-fi several times. Certain ones that I have read, like Andy Weir, for example, are really approachable, but like Dune, you know, it's like I started reading it and they have these different races of people that have this whole name, and they just refer to the people by that weird name. And then, you know, the planet has a weird name, and the systems for things have all these weird names. It's just like all of these weird nouns right away. And I remember trying to read it and being like, I guess I'm just too stupid for this because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
I just don't, you know, nobody told me that with sci-fi, that's how nobody knows at first. That's the point, is that you read it and you get taken along on this ride and you begin to understand and piece things together.
Right. And I think that you get a good taste of that in this book. Like, you can feel that that's where you're going. There's these characters that it's a word I've never seen before, right? And I am like, oh, these sound maybe prostitutes, like what? And like my imagination goes wild with this character or these subculture of people. I think is and you clearly have to keep reading, but you do it in a way that stays very intriguing. Like it's like you want to keep going. I've actually never read Dune. I feel like I should, but like...
Did you see the movies?
I didn't. No, because, well, I do not like to see movies before I read a book. Because if I already have a visual of a character and then it doesn't match in the book, it's too distracting for me. I can't, like, get past it, and then it ruins the book for me. And I never want it to go that way. I want it to be the other way around. I'd rather be disappointed in a movie than disappointed in a book.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yes. Okay, anyway, but back to yours. The other thing that felt a little disorienting, I'm going to throw that word out there, was the timeline. I felt we just needed just a little bit more like clarification around, it was clear when we go back in time, but it's not clear when we jump forward again in time. And it's a really cool transition, although it just isn't quite clear enough, you know?
Yeah.
And I needed that.
Now looking back, I'm like, dang, I think that if you really lean in and really go back and try to read it, you can figure it out. But that's not what I want the reader's experience to be, because that's taking them out of the story, right?
Right.
So it's better, like I could have just had some small indication that we're going from the past and then we're jumping into the present. It could have been a chapter. It could have been just a pound sign in between, or it could have just been the character going, I can't believe it's been 3 years hence or whatever.
Totally.
So I'm totally going to add that to the story. I think that something that I've learned from you, Rachel, is like you're really good at just sending it, and like that. What's perfection is the enemy of done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Or perfect will never happen or something.
I'm looking it up. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Oh, okay.
That's progress, not perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've been a lot more productive since I've been spending more time with you and working alongside
look
you.
At me go.
Yeah. But then on the flip side, it's like, okay, I swung way too far. I wrote this and I just sent it, which I'm proud of myself that I did, right? I'm like, I did something, but I could have had at least you look at it first, and then I would know that the time shift was wrong, that I should gender the character earlier.
Sure.
And I also missed something. At the beginning of the story, there's these two animals, and I describe them as like fertile. And then later on, 4 paragraphs later, I say that they just have to be replaced because they don't have sex organs, so they can't reproduce. And I'm like, fuck, it's because I was kind of like pantsing and writing, coming up with the ideas as I go.
Yeah.
And then I just like left that in. Really irks me as a perfectionist. I'm like, fuck.
But that's being the unpolished, you know, like they're looking for the diamond in the rough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They don't want a ready set diamond, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of the contest is that they'll spend a year with you developing this idea. And that's what's so exciting. Why am I getting so excited about this? There's going to be like thousands of entrants.
Or not. We don't know. Like they're doing a great job at advertising it on, you know, like on Instagram and stuff. I'm getting a ton of, you know.
Oh, me too.
Little things that they're sending out there. But maybe, who knows what the actual traction is?
I sense that do you believe in like manifestation?
I absolutely do.
You do?
Yes. No. Do you? I thought maybe you did, and then you looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, I've been a lot more woo-woo and spiritual over the last like couple of months where we've been doing this podcast than normal. I do and I don't.
Well, I think there's a point where you have to work. You know, you can't be like, I'm going to manifest dinner tonight. You know, like you do have to like do shit.
What's that? There's another phrase that like God blesses those who work.
I don't know. You're the one who knows more about God.
God does things for those who do for themselves or something like that.
He helps those who help themselves or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, we should like leave God out of this.
All right. Like This thing, so in prior episodes, I talked about wanting to make a shrine to my muse.
Oh, yes. Oh, we need a progress update on your cupboard.
Yeah, so it's this vintage spice cupboard that I have that I'm going to transform. So when you open it up, there's like all these like talismans and like woo-woo things, lucky things in there so that I can like, I don't know, open it up and maybe say a little poem or a prayer to my muse before I start writing. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I know some of the things that are going to go in it. And this kind of relates back to manifestation. When I was young, when I was like 20 or something, I worked at this cafe and there was this, like woo-woo lady who worked there. And before I left to move to Tofino, which is on Vancouver Island in Canada, she had this deck of tarot cards. And she said, this deck doesn't have any power in it for me anymore. So I'm just allowing people in my life to choose a card. So would you like to choose a card? I said, sure. And I pulled it out. Like the image on it is so beautiful. And it's like a person on a cliff. The waves are like coming in and the person has their arms up in like a V, sort of like a victory stance, when you like run through the finish line. But their back is facing away. I'll take a picture of it that we can put on the Instagram.
Perfect.
Then I moved to Tofino and literally I found this place. It was like this secret bay and it had the softest sand and the water's just lapping against the shore and nobody was there. Like it was my own secret paradise island. It was fucking insane. Lovely. And I went there. I had like a really rough, tumultuous time when I was living in Tofino. And I would go there by myself and it was like my safe place. It was my little heaven. And I realized that was the place on the card.
Cool.
Like it was literally the place on the card. And then later when I wrote my novel, I write that, like that place is in my book.
Cool.
The main character goes there. And I also had like an experience with my husband at this place. Like years later, I brought him and my friends there and we did mushrooms and it was one of the best days of my life.
Oh, fun.
So anyways, whatever. So that feels sort of like manifesty, right?
Totally.
So I'm going to put that in my cupboard.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. I think when like The Secret came out and everything, it was just hard for me to. The Secret, by the way, if you're Gen Z, maybe you haven't heard of this, but it was like a huge phenomena that swept over the nation.
Sure did.
Oprah was really, really into this book and this quote unquote documentary called The Secret. And basically it was talking about how in the universe, like attracts like.
Yep.
So and that we are energy. So if you're putting out like negative energy, negative vibes, negative predictions about the future, that's what's going to come to you. And if you put out positive things, like that's what's going to come to you. But they get really specific about it. For example, the people who wrote, this is another old throwback thing, the people who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Chicken Soup for the Soul. What a series.
I know. And they were like, oh, we put a picture of $1 million bill or $1 million check on the ceiling above our bed. And whenever we went to sleep at night, we would look at it and we would say, we're going to make $1 million off of this book or whatever. It totally happened. And they're like, we manifested this. And The Secret is kind of what brought manifestation
to the mainstream,
into the mainstream culture in like America.
And I think everyone started making vision boards and stuff after that.
Yes, it was like you make a dream board and then now that dreams come true.
I have a vision board right here in this closet.
No way.
And it's hiding, but writing is on there for sure.
Should we post your vision board on the Instagram?
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed now.
When did you make it?
At the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, you don't have to, but maybe you should just say it with your chest.
I'll share it. I mean, come on. Here we are.
If I'm sharing my dorky little shrine to the muse.
Yeah, if you're going to show your shrine, I can share my vision board.
Okay, so if I get my shrine done, she will share her board.
Perfect. Okay. I think that is tit for tat in the best of ways. Okay, so we need to talk about editing each other's work.
Yeah.
Because I loved reading your story and I loved giving you feedback. I thought it was really fun to, workshop it. It was cool. And you had brought up that you wanted to talk about what it's like editing each other's work.
Yeah. Rachel did the amazing thing of inviting me I'm able to read her work in progress, The Dinner for 8, which she just started a couple weeks ago.
No, a week ago.
Holy
shit.
Yeah.
Last time we recorded was, I think, last Monday, and I had just started it. I think I just started the day before. So I think I'm 1 week in.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is the story that you were prompted, right?
Yeah. So my writing group from school, they created a little Google Doc so we could all put up little prompts for each other. And I had put up the one about you're having a dinner party, someone brings an unexpected guest, you have a night of games planned, ready, go. And it has turned into quite the twisty tale.
Oh, you wrote the prompt.
I wrote the prompt,
Yeah.
and then one of the people was like, this feels oddly specific. And I was like, well, no, it could go anywhere. And then I like gave like a list of places it could go, like very opposition. Like maybe you're in love with this guest who comes in. Maybe it's somebody that you despise. Maybe it's someone who forgot that you had existed. You know, like I gave a bunch of options. And then I was like, my options are good. I'm rolling with this puppy. So I started as a short story, and I kind of had it done. And then I was like, I can't be done here. My muse was kicking me right in the ass.
Yeah, kicking her right out of bed at 4 a.m. to write.
Yeah, I've been getting up at 4 every day to this past weekend. I was potentially the worst mom ever because I was just like, shut up. I have to watch another show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
I mean, it's already like 20,000 words.
20,000 words in a week? What the hell?
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
bananas.
So she sent me this work that she's working on. And we've also been talking a lot about spice, which we'll get back into.
Sure.
But going through, and it's so spicy, and it's also very like fun.
Oh, good.
The relation. So there's a lot of people in it. Her character is having a dinner party. So, you know, people come to the door and then they're sort of like described in pairs coming through the door, right? They relate to each other the way that the women like joke about things and like razz each other, and the way that everybody has sort of different relationships with each other is like so fun. Like I laughed out loud. Yeah, it was great. And then the unexpected dinner guest comes and throws a really big, sexy piece into the work. The last time I worked on something that you wrote, it was basically done. She just needed to cut it down.
Right.
And it was just a short story, and I knew that I had something to offer, right? So I'm going through and I was making notes on everything that I wanted to. And then I reached out to Rachel on this because I started making all these notes, and I got self-conscious about it. I'm like, what if she doesn't want these notes? Because so when I first finished my novel, I sent it to beta readers and I said to them, please be like gentle with me, like be honest if there's something that I need to know. But I would, you know, I'd like encouragement, and like I'm giving you all my bare little heart, and like you could really, really hurt me, you know? I'm like, just please fucking be careful.
Totally.
Like, don't break my heart. Like, and then I'm here just like saying whatever I want to say to Rachel in the notes. So I messaged her. I'm like, do you want these notes? Like I could see that she was also in the thing. Like that's the thing with Google Docs is you can see the other person's little face pop up and you're like, oh, she knows I'm reading it. And then you make a note and then they like talk to you about it in real time. And I'm like, I don't know how sensitive she is. Like, I don't know. But then I also heard this accomplished writer talking about her writing group. And basically what they say to each other is, look, we're going to be kind, but we're not going to waste your time.
Totally.
Send it to me and I'll send you my notes.
Yeah.
And there's no point in just doing this exercise of pumping each other's tires,
right.
Because, you know, who needs that? If you're a novice, for sure.
Yeah.
If you're just going to send it to your friends and family, basically all you want is like
a pat on the back and a great job. That was very entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But that's not what we're doing. We actually want to get published. We actually want to make good work, and we actually want to get better and like learn from each other. So I'm wondering, so I texted her and she was like, if you want to, like, I would love to hear it.
Yeah. I love getting your notes. I think that not only are you sending me really important tips or like you're catching, like perspective issues that I'm having. But you know, like I'll often, the main character, the protagonist, she will often be like, well, that person was really upset. And you're like, you've made notes. We're like, well, how does she know that person's upset? You know, like it's definitely a problem that I have. I'm like trying to feel for too many people when I have to really concentrate on the protagonist, who's the first person narrative. This is her perspective. Those notes have been really helpful. And then you've caught some really important stuff that I'm like, oh, there's a character named Jamie. One of the things that you noted on hers was very crucial. I said that she says something innocently, and you're like, is she being innocent? And that like totally blew my mind, because I was like, is she being innocent? This bitch can't be that airheaded. And then I was like, okay, that actually shifted a huge thing for me, because was she saying it innocently?
Okay, can we give context?
Sure, yeah, do it.
Okay, so there's guests that come to this beautiful dinner party that's also a murder mystery.
Although don't say the mystery guest. That name is going to change.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
You can call him.
So basically, the host, her friend, Jamie, a woman, comes in with a guy that she met at a concert.
Yes.
And the host has a history with this guy. And then there's a point where the protagonist is talking to Jamie. The protagonist is saying that the guy is weird or something.
She's saying that she has to watch out for him. Jamie's like, well, I really like him. And she's like, but he has like something about him. And she's like, well, you should be worried. And she's like, but why?
Yeah. She's like, but why? Jamie said innocently in the room and whatever, the protagonist and this guy, they've been like looking at each other. They've been shooting digs at each other.
Totally.
There's the protagonist. She doesn't want anybody at the table to know that
you can call her name's Sam. We can say Sam.
Yeah. So Sam doesn't want the rest of the dinner guests or her husband to know that she had this really intense sexual relationship with this guy back in the day.
Yeah.
So they're both kind of pretending they don't know each other. And when Sam has this conversation with Jamie, I've gotten the sense throughout the story that Jamie is kind of has her eye on Sam a little bit and is kind of looking back. In my mind, what I'm envisioning is she's kind of looking at them like, wait, that was weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
You know, like she's picking up on things. And when Sam says, like, you should look out for him, and Jamie says, well, why? Innocently? To me, Jamie was like goading her.
Yeah.
Like pretending to be innocent, to be like, oh, really?
Right. What I need to change that to, which I haven't done yet, was that she says it with like feigned innocence, you know, because I think that that's a crucial part.
Yes, but we can't know that. If you're doing the first person and the first person is Sam, she can't know.
Sure.
But she could say,
That's true. Oh, God.
She could say something about something about the innocence on Jamie's face felt
inauthentic.
There was something, like she can have a thought about it and feel like it's fake.
Sure.
But you can't just say she said with feigned innocence.
Sure. Yeah, no, fair.
And I'm also like a lot of times people with point of view, they'll start writing a story in one point of view and then they'll realize that they need to switch it to a different point of view.
Sure.
I don't necessarily think that that's true, especially with the spice, because we are in Sam's head and she is thinking a lot of spicy
She sure
thoughts.
is. This woman has had a past. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were doing like an omnipresent narrator who could get into everybody's heads, that to me, that's freaky. Like, that's scary. I'm like, I don't know how I would manage to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
I feel like Sam's head's enough for me to be in.
Yeah,
in all honesty.
And just to be able to like, just make a habit out of like not being able to see more than she can see or know more than she can know. It would be easier than like being like, oh, maybe this is like a different kind of thing where we go into different characters' heads. It's
totally.
Like, no, that's not gonna.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. Plus, this story, it is going to the game that they play at this dinner is a murder mystery game, and I don't think you've gotten there yet in what you've read, but I have now created an entire murder mystery game. Have you ever created a murder mystery game?
I've never created one, but I've done a murder mystery party before.
Making one is so much work. So on Saturday, this is what me and my kids were butting heads about. I took all these index cards and I created the character that the characters become. And then I had on the back is the relation between the characters in the game and the characters so now there's like two sets of interrelation, like it's freaking confusing and I love it. And like, it's now becoming, I can't get into anyone else's head. They all are going to shift personalities because they're now being their characters. And like the host of the game is like, anything that happens from here on out is you as your character. And then like, that's going to start blurring a lot of lines for some of the people. I'm so excited.
Oh my God.
It's going to get crazy.
Okay. So in the spirit of just being honest.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is just something that I don't even know if I should say this because, okay, so here's what's going on in my mind right now. Rachel is pantsing.
Oh yeah, big time.
And she is super duper inspired and she's on this amazing roll and she's coming up with these ideas that are really like unique and fun and like she's really in tune with her muse and she's in flow, right? So the first draft of your book, like you're supposed to be sort of like uninhibited.
Sure.
And just let that flow. And so that's something that is really unique about you showing me this in this version because it's almost like I feel like I shouldn't make too many notes or like really broad notes because we don't really know exactly where this is going to go until it goes somewhere.
Sure.
But I guess I could put a couple of things in your mind to think about. One is when I was reading this, I was like, I think that this is a movie.
Oh, wow.
I think that, you know, if we have each dinner guest coming through the door and here's Jamie and she's dressed a certain way so we can see her character and there's two lesbian couples. Mm-hmm. And they're very different, but it would be easier for the reader to go, okay, that's the ones that aren't having problems and that's the ones who are having problems.
Yes.
And with like right now it's sort of just like the names. So I think you've done a really good job, but it's still a lot of people to introduce in a book. A lot of characters to introduce in a book. And then now you're adding this second layer of now those characters have a character, so they're going to now have different names.
Yes. Although only a few characters in the murder mystery itself matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say totally go for it in like a really uninhibited way and I wouldn't actually get too bogged down with making everything so clear. Like I would work on, moving the plot along.
Totally.
Like you're doing. There's a second part about this that people don't really like reading about dreams, for example, in books.
Totally.
Because there's no stakes.
I don't even like hearing about dreams.
So it's like, all this stuff happened, but it was just a dream, so who gives a fuck?
Totally.
So the story that's on top, like the actual murder mystery story that's on top, it's going to be hard, I think, to make that plot line important because it doesn't feel like there's any stakes unless the stakes become real somehow, unless somebody actually kills somebody or actually is literally hurting somebody's feelings or like whatever. I would go probably light on whatever the actual murder mystery plot is.
Totally.
And heavier on how people are feeling about their characters.
Yep.
And that kind of stuff.
Definitely. I've definitely thought of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on the same page. There's the stakes remain high. I mean, the balance between this married woman, Sam, her husband who's there, and the guy who she has this super sexual past with, the stakes are high. Like, it's going to definitely have to end in something crazy happening.
Oh my God.
I can't
so
not.
Excited.
I'm right?
Oh my God.
I have 3 optional endings in mind. And no, I just can't decide if someone should really die or not.
Oh my God. Okay,
No?
so is this book, like, is the rest of the book basically them doing this game? Does it all take place in one night?
I think it's going to all take place in one night.
That is so
I was
cool.
thinking that maybe the very end could be like what the aftermath is.
Oh.
Because no matter what, something big's happening. Like, it's going to
The spice. Rachel.
Oh yeah, the spice.
When we started this podcast, not very many moons ago, Rachel had her story about Carolyn, that she had been building this world, and Carolyn hadn't even come close to getting laid in this story. And you have how many words? Like 50,000 words or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so she's written a lot about this character, and the character is a widow, like, so she's unattached, but there's no sex in it.
No.
And Rachel was like, I don't know how to write a sex scene.
Yeah, I had literally never even tried to write a sex scene. And then I tried to write a makeout scene, and that didn't work so well.
She got a little feedback at her class, which you can hear about in prior episodes, where just one person said,
yeah, just one person.
It was like one guy was like, oh, does she even like dudes? I wonder what guys think is going through our heads when we're making out with you on the porch, and like what is going through your head, because in your story, she wants to bring it inside. Yeah. She's done making out with him outside. And so she is making out with him, but she has other things in her mind. She's multitasking. She's going in and trying to fumble with her keys. She's like, oh, I can't. Like, she's into it, but like there's just other things on her mind. And I wonder if guys just don't have anything else on their mind when they're making out with you.
Kayla, I think that's a whole nother podcast. We could dive into what's going in men's mind and take a good hour to not figure it out, because I don't think... No, never mind. I'm not going to say that. That was not kind. I'm not going to finish the thought.
But it's like, did this guy who critiqued your work, which is like great, but it's like when he goes into the mind of a woman who is making out with somebody outside their door, he's like, oh, she must not be into it because she's thinking about other things. It's like,
oh, true, yeah,
it's
right.
like that's like the such a hard part about being a woman and having sex is that it takes a minute. It really takes a while to like clear our heads and our nervous systems and everything of all the clutter and actually just focus on
right. So I think that that's one of the great parts about figuring out how to write this in this new character Sam's point of view is she has had this past with this guy, and she was clearly like getting her brains fucked out with this guy for like years. And so now she also has this life with her husband where like they have, prescribed sex, like scheduled. They're on their routine.
Yeah.
And so I think it was fun for me to like drop that mom thought process. Carolyn's like a mom. She's like, she's in like, I'm a mom, like in the mom zone. Whereas Sam, who's also a mom, she has that mom life, but in these flashback scenes or like these fantasy scenes, she's like, I'm not mommy anymore. And like,
she wasn't mom at the time.
Right. And she was not a mom at the time. And so like, it's a totally different mindset. And that's been really fun to write because, I mean, it's way hotter to not be mommy. Unless that's what you want.
That's very spicy. So what do you think about, did you enjoy writing the spice?
Yeah, it's been fun. I don't know what I expected. I think that I had built it up in my head where it's going to be like this whole hot and bothered like situation where maybe my family shouldn't be home while I'm writing these scenes. Like,
oh, like you're getting
like
hot.
That. Yeah, no, it's not like that.
It isn't?
No.
You're not getting hot?
No. I mean, no.
Me neither.
Because I'm still thinking the story's still progressing, Mm-hmm. I think I still have a woman brain at the end of the day, we're still moving forward.
Yeah. And are you...
You can talk about more specific things from the story, too. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
When you are writing these glimpses into her past sex life, there was one, like, really good one where... So I can say...
Yeah, go for it.
So she's having... she's having feelings about her ex, and he never wanted to have kids with her, but he would like dangle the carrot. Like he would make her feel sometimes like there was a future with them.
Yeah, right.
And there's this sex scene where she's on top of him and he's holding her hips in place while he comes because he's saying, I want to put a baby in you.
Yeah, he wants to get her pregnant. But then, like, it's just like this mind fuck thing.
Does
like,
he want to get her pregnant, or is he just saying that that just turns him on to say that?
I think it just turns him on to say that, because I think he just fucks with her. I'm trying to.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to. I don't think you definitely haven't gotten to. If you've paused where you put the bookmark, then you have not gotten to the part where he's just like fucking with her, and like. He doesn't care. It's a game to him. And it always had been.
Spoil.
No. Sorry. That's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler.
Yes, it is.
Is it? Okay, well then cut it out.
No. I mean, I don't know. Oh, okay. This is so good, because now my mind is blown, and I'm like, when I was reading this and he came there, and at first you just think it's all like a mistake, right?
Sure.
She suspects it was not a mistake, that
Right.
he knew that it was her having this party and that he showed up on purpose. So there's this question in the air of like, is he in love with her? Like, does he regret letting her go? Does he wish he had children with her? Like, has he grown and changed? Like, is he there to fall in love with her? And you're saying that he's just there to fuck with her?
No. He likes to fuck with her sexually.
Have sex fucking with her, not like gaslight her and fuck with her head.
No, I think both. But like in their interpersonal relationship, when it came to sex, he just likes to fuck with her. Like, she does not know what way is up when it comes to him. The whole confusion that you're feeling is very purposeful.
Within their sex life, he likes to fuck with her mentally.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But do you think that's just, he just is like abusive like that all around? Or it's just like sexually he gets off on like having this like control and making her confused and sending her off balance?
I'm not sure about that yet.
Yeah.
I feel like at what end is he fucking with her? I have no idea.
Okay, that's really fun. But you're pantsing that.
Yeah, I'm pantsing that part. Because that is where I think the murder mystery part's going to come into play, because their characters in the murder mystery game are now very strangely entwined, and like they like need each other in the game. Oh, potentially.
Okay, so they're going to be in rooms together more.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The game is going to like, it's like, that's a trope, is like forced proximity.
Yeah.
Some people really like reading about that when you're like, oh, I'm stuck in the elevator with you.
Right.
Oh, no.
Because so far in what I've written, she's trying to avoid him as much as she can.
Yeah.
So yeah, some forced proximity is in play.
This is like all very, very exciting. But I think that when it comes to, I just want to be careful with this work, because I was going through and being like, oh, okay, like correct, just my mind was just doing it. I'm just like, oh, like correcting little grammar stuff and whatever. Right. But then I realized like I just shouldn't even do that, because that's just creating more notes for her where she should just keep going. And this is like the very, very first rough draft.
Right.
So it's like, of course, that's not going to be perfect grammatically. And also you can just send that shit through ChatGPT when you're done and it'll just correct grammar. Right. What I think that would actually be helpful for you at this stage of the writing is just to get my reactions as I go along. Well, that's what you did with mine. It's like, wait, I'm confused. Wasn't this? Right. It's like, I should know that that's what my reader is thinking.
Right. Well,
so
then
if I really
also,
like something, or if something's this, or
but the perspective, like making sure that I'm staying on perspective is like, please help me with that.
I'll help you with that.
I need those things, because I definitely, and I think that that's just part of my personality. I like to put feelings onto other things, give feelings to other people. I need it to make sense in my head how other people are acting. Yeah. So I think I'm putting that on this character too, and that's not what makes the book. I mean, that's not what makes a book. Mm-hmm.
I think I thought about this too. So there's a difference between her thinking that somebody is one way,
right,
and just the narrator just stating it.
Right. Okay, we had both watched a YouTube thing about thisness.
Okay, so this is totally switching gears. Yeah.
Well, you said something about thisness in my story, which is what is piquing my memory on bringing up thisness.
Yes, but I should have highlighted it. But basically, there's this guy called the Oxford writer. Yeah, the Oxford writer. And he's this little guy from Oxford, and he does these YouTube videos, and I sort of remembered this one he did before about the concept of thisness. So I sent it to Rachel before rewatching it. And it's crazy because I'm like, Rachel, like, watch this 10-minute video and we'll talk about it on the pod. And then I go to rewatch it, and I realized after about 2 minutes that everything, all the meat of it was done. And the rest of the video was just this Oxford writer little guy like telling his own little story that he wrote.
He sure was.
And
with sound effects and everything.
Once I realized he was doing that, I just shut it off. But then I was like, oh no, I made Rachel. Rachel thinks that I want her to listen to this.
Well, as I was listening to it or watching it, you know, I was folding laundry. The imagery in it is fantastic. I mean, I gotta say, his story is like, it is, you know, rats are wearing pants, and like you can see it. You can see it happening.
So it had thisness.
It had some thisness, I guess.
Okay. So you like the story, or
I still don't. No, I didn't like. I mean, come on. The story was ridiculous, and I was definitely like, why did she have me listen to this?
Oh, although, so embarrassing.
I mean, I still thought it was good imagery. It was like, I feel like it's always helpful to hear how things are described so vividly, and like be like, oh yeah, I do want things. I don't want to be a teller. I want to be a you know, shower.
Yeah. So the Oxford writer labeled his YouTube video the 700-year-old novel writing secret, quote, thisness. What thisness is, it was a Latin term, I believe, called haecceity. Okay, so haecceity is translated to thisness. It's like a philosophical term that it relates to the discrete qualities, properties, or characteristics that make something uniquely itself. So like two leaves from a tree,
Okay.
they might be the exact same species, color, and shape, but each has its own haecceity. One of them has this like slight curve.
Sure.
Or like a little bite taken out of it. Something about that thing that is just unique to it that you can describe. So yeah, it's about finding the essence of a thing and naming it in a way that makes people say, whoa, like I never thought of it that way, but that's utterly true.
Sure. So one of the examples he gives in the beginning of the video is like, you could say, you know, they pulled up in a car outside, or you could say a red Oldsmobile with white rims screeched to the front of my house, you know, and like, that's the difference.
Yeah, pulling out the piece of something that makes it unique and different.
Right.
Yeah, is the way that the Oxford writer describes haecceity. I think I kind of understand this. Here's a quote from a book called Annie Dillard, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. She says, I had been my whole life a belle and never knew it until at that moment I was lifted and struck.
Ooh.
This is describing a thisness, an essence about the feeling of discovering yourself because of something that somebody else did to you, right? So she said, I had been my whole life a belle and never knew it until at that moment I was lifted and struck. To me, that feels kind of like sexual.
Yeah, sure.
But that's describing the essence of a feeling that is like very unique to her.
Totally.
And so I think that is haecceity.
Totally.
I remembered this one quote from Margaret Atwood in Alias Grace, that it's another description of a feeling, but I think it's like the haecceity of the feeling. I was confused about this whole haecceity concept at first because I'm like, are they just talking about similes and metaphors? Because one of the quotes that the Oxford writer talks about is a Raymond Chandler quote. And he says Raymond Chandler was really good at haecceity. And it basically was saying like his voice was fat. It came through the line wheezing like a person who had just won a pie eating contest.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, is he just talking about doing like interesting, quirky little metaphors? Is that what it is? But it's like an essence of something that's unique.
Totally.
And this is Margaret Atwood from Alias Grace describing the way that a woman feels that I think is really vivid and haecceity-ish and like thisness-y.
Okay.
It says, but underneath that is another feeling, a feeling of being wide-eyed, awake, and watchful. It's like being waked suddenly in the middle of the night by a hand over your face, and you sit up with your heart going fast and no one is there. And underneath that is another feeling still, a feeling like being torn apart, not like a body of flesh. It is not painful as such, but like a peach, and not even torn apart, but too ripe and splitting open of its own accord. And inside the peach, there's a stone.
Wow.
She is having a very particular feeling.
Absolutely.
And you're relating it to something that you can smell and like taste and feel and see.
Yeah.
It's a feeling, but the essence of that feeling is a too ripe peach in all of its complexity.
Sure.
I think that's what this is.
I think it is. Yeah.
And I noticed in your writing that there was a piece of thisness.
Ooh, look at me go.
So I'm going to add that to the show notes because I sort of did a quick peek back. But I should put it in the show notes. Can I?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'm going to quote a piece of Rachel's story that I thought was this.
I mean, I'm not being stupid by sharing this, am I? I mean, please, if you're listening, don't steal my story.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm not really that worried about it.
So
should I be?
I don't know. So there's this great podcast called Books with Hooks where people send in their query letter that they're writing to an agent. And these agents, they read your query letter and they critique it. They say, I didn't understand this. This needs to be more punchy. This needs to be whatever. And I thought about sending in my queer letter to these agents to read. Some people who've had their queer letters read on this podcast have, like, an agent will just reach out to them and they'll just get agented from that. Part of me was just like, I don't want everybody to hear about my whole, like, plot and all these things because it has like this extra hook. It's just a question. It's like, am I being too precious about this? Because there's so many stories to tell. And why would somebody like steal mine? I mean, I guess it's happened.
Sure.
But
I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. At the end of the day, if you're listening right now and you're like, okay, I can write some weird fucked up sexual thing between two people and then make it into a murder mystery. I mean, by all means, go for it.
Yeah.
But like, it's not going to be the same regardless. You know, so I'm not really worried. I feel like, don't make me worried, people.
Don't worry her.
I mean, I did put up on our Instagram, I put up a picture and that like in it, you can see like a chunk of what I'm writing.
Yeah.
A whole page worth. So, I mean, I think I'm good with sharing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to make that statement. I'm good with the show notes and I'm happy to share what I've shared so far. I do need to change the guy's name. The X in the story currently, it's not a name that I want to keep for him. It's not the right name.
Is it your actual ex? No. So this story, I was like, oh my God, this is just you. And like,
no, it's not me.
Okay. Because I know that you've talked to your therapist about making things you and you don't want to make things you, but there are so many details from your actual life and house and stuff.
No, there's not. It's not my house at all. There's like stairs and like a back to the house. My house is definitely not like that.
Okay, but
wait, what is like my house in there? I
guess
so.
I shouldn't.
I mean, there's marble on the bathroom floor.
No, I mean like the pictures that you take every year on the wall with your family.
Don't all fancy people take pictures of their families every year? Everyone I knew growing up had family portraits taken every year.
Okay.
And I feel like that's just a rich, fancy person thing.
Right. What else? Well, there was somebody's hair is red in it.
Oh, yeah. My daughter's hair is red in it. So my daughter's hair is red, and that is the main character's daughter's hair. I do feel like, I definitely do not feel like I am this protagonist at all.
Okay.
However, you have to write what you know to some extent.
Of course.
And so, like, I can describe, there's a moment where I describe her hair shining copper in a photo, you know, in the sunlight. And that's just like when I close my eyes and envision a little girl standing in a field, that's what I'm envisioning. So I don't think that, I think it's just those little details. It's definitely not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that wasn't your ex doing that stuff to you?
No.
Okay. Cool. Good to know.
I am just really good at writing it, I figured out. Yeah.
You are. You're just a really good writer. You're not just saying stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So the next video that I told Rachel to watch hopefully was like a little better than the first one. We wanted to look into something that Brandon Sanderson had taught on his YouTube channel because he has a ton of writing advice that people love. And he is a super, super prolific, successful writer. So it's like, I've never really watched one before. So I just kind of chose one and sent it. And it was Brandon Sanderson giving 5 tips about starting your book. And he was writing to people who were doing NaNoWriMo or Mimo, the National Writing Month, where in November you write a whole book.
Right. And I like that idea. I thought that was a cool challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually have shut down NaNoWriMo because, it was like this organization that worked for a long time. A lot of people got involved in this, writing a whole book in November. But I believe they had disputes about using AI.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're doing 50,000 words plus in a month, I think that could be a questionable thing to be using.
Oh my God, totally. And it's like, some people were like, okay, no, you can't use AI. But then there was this question of access or something. It was just like this weird bend, that like some weird argument about, well, what if people don't have the privilege of
Fingers? What if I can't hold a pen?
It's like, what if somebody has a disability and they can't? What if? I don't know what it was, but anyways, the whole shit.
Helen Keller who wants to participate. Oh, sorry, that's not funny. I do want it to be inclusive. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole.
I don't know. I don't know how ChatGPT makes things more inclusive, because it's like you have to have internet access. You also have, well, I guess everybody has, but you also like, you pay for a membership with ChatGPT to be able to like really use it a lot. If you were using it all month to write 50,000 words, you would definitely need to pay for it. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I imagine so.
Anyways, so he was giving advice to people doing NaNoWriMo. This was like 4 years ago. What did you think about his advice and stuff?
I thought that his advice overall was great. He was a little hard to listen to. Sorry, bro.
Was he?
Him and his armchair were just a little bit too...
He's a total nerdy dork.
Yeah, it was a little nerdy dorky for me.
Okay.
However, I feel like what he was saying overall was helpful, just like, I'm drawing a blank.
So the first one that he talks about is borrowing structure.
Oh, yes. Okay. So the borrowing structure thing I thought was great, because I was, we both just said it. You were like thinking Dune and Margaret Atwood, and like you're pulling from these like things that were very inspiring to you in the past. And I feel like that's exactly what he's talking about when he's talking about borrowing structure. And then here I was saying like Clue and Glass Onion and whatever else it was that I can't think of in this moment. But definitely borrowing these like the bare bones, so you're not taking like any of the actual meat of the story, but you're like the bare bones, like this is something that was really attractive to me. And so I'm going to strip it down and use the bones.
Yeah.
And I think that was extremely smart, like a smart thing to share. And he said it well.
Yes, he said it very well. I've thought about this. I've had this writing advice before, and I've thought about it a lot. It's like you watch a movie or read a book like in your genre or that you love, and then you go, how did they do that? And you try to distill it down to its elemental pieces. So one of the examples that he gives is like a heist movie.
Right.
So he goes, you watch your heist movie and you go, okay, there's a scene where they've got this problem that they need to solve. Then there's another scene where they're recruiting all of these unique individuals with particular sets of skills. And then you have some scenes where they are preparing, they're getting the equipment that they need, they're making their plan. And then you have the scene where they actually do the heist and whatever.
Sure.
And so you go, okay, well, what's my problem going to be? Who are my characters going to be?
Right.
What are the things that they need? And what's the plan that they're going to come up with?
Right.
And then how does it all like go? So you look at the structure and then you just copy that, but it's still your own thing.
Right. So I just remembered my third thing. Did you see this show Sex Life?
No.
Okay, it's Sex/Life, and it's a Netflix show, and it's this woman who has a beautiful life with a family, And then her ex, she sees his name come up on her friend's phone, and she's like, all of these things are triggered in her mind of all these fantasies. And she starts writing in her journal. And then they show, obviously, in the show with this happening. And so that's my third. That was my like, as we're saying it, I'm like, that was my third thing.
Like inspiration, like
yes,
a comparative.
Because it's like this ex that she had this super hot sex life with. And then, but here she has this perfectly fine life, but the past is haunting her.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said some other stuff. Then he said this one, and I did this for your story. Okay.
Oh, okay. What was it?
So he said another thing that you can do when you're first starting your story is just ask yourself this question. What is it that my character wants? What is it that they need? And why can't they have either? And then basically what you do with your story is you just like put obstacles in front of them that are getting in between like them and what they want and what they need. And so I did this for Rachel's book.
Ooh.
Okay, so
hit me.
Tell me if you think this is right. So Sam wants to have sex with her ex. She wants to feel desired and have a sexual reawakening experience. Mm-hmm. What does she need? So I said, this might be wrong. Maybe what she needs is to fix her sexual relationship with her husband, learn to communicate with him, and he needs to overcome his inhibitions because the story shows him getting drunk and he's like so much more like fun and stuff.
Totally.
So why can't she have either? She can't be with her ex because she is married and he scorned her in the past.
Correct.
And her friend is dating him. She can't fix her sexual relationship with her husband because she's unwilling to communicate as directly as he needs her to as a neurodivergent person.
Totally.
So it's like, in order to have a good sex life with her husband, she needs to literally say, when I'm wearing these socks, that means come get me.
Totally.
And sometimes there's this thing with people and like women, we're like, I just want you to just naturally know and like pick up my cues. How can you not see that I'm wearing this like negligee in the kitchen and I'm bending over at this, like totally. How are you not with this character Sam? It's like, girl, you can get what you want, but you're just gonna have to get it in a different way.
Totally.
So is this true? Because
I'd say it's true.
Do you think that she needs
right.
that, or do you think she needs to not be with her husband?
No, I think she needs to learn to communicate. Is definitely a major part of it. And it is lightly just said that they have a couples therapist. Like it's clear, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I mean, she definitely does not need to go back to her ex. He's scorned her and he scorned her good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, he be scorning.
He be scorning.
So I haven't asked that question really of my book. Like I have this character. Every character in your book has to want something at every moment.
Sure.
Because we are constantly wanting something.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like Sam wants to get to her drink, but this person's in the way. So then you have Sam like skirting around until you get something, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's trying to get something. And I think like what I need to ask myself this question about my protagonist in this story, because I've built out the world and he's traveling to go to this vigil day at this place. But why does he want to go there? Why is it important to him to travel across the country to be there? Those questions have helped me. I think it'll make this story like richer and make more sense.
Totally.
And then another thing that he said, this is the last thing that I made note of, was Brandon Sanderson said that to dedicate brain space to your book when you're not writing. So when you're folding laundry, like be thinking.
Yes. Well, actually, I think that coincided so perfectly for me with this book because you guys wouldn't know this about me. I used to be extremely into working out early in the morning. Like that was my thing for years, was like I would get up at early morning and exercise and start my day that way. And then in the past year, I tried to shift to spend more time with my husband in the evenings. So I would try to sleep in, quote unquote, sleep in the mornings, which meant like I would try to sleep till 6:30 instead of getting up at my normal circadian rhythm time. And I know.
Is your circadian rhythm like 5?
Oh yeah, 4:30 or 5. So now, but this past week, I've been like up, and when I'm not writing, I'll get up early and write, and then I'll go work out, and then I'm ready to write more. Like it's definitely been part of the whole cycle for me.
So when you're working out, you're still thinking about the book?
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, so that's basically what he's saying. It's like, oh, and one question that he posed, which I thought was like really nicely put, was he's like, why is this scene that I'm going to write today going to be somebody's favorite scene in my book?
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important as your book starts like putting on the pages, as George Saunders says. As your book starts putting on the pages, it's like, sometimes you just need a scene to get from A to B. Like,
of course.
But every scene should be special, in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, do you think that you would want to learn more from Brandon Sanderson, or was he just too irritating to like engage with?
My armchair nerd?
Yeah.
I feel like I could definitely learn more from him. From him. I think that would definitely be I would watch more of the videos. Mm-hmm. Videos are not my jam generally, but if I could just pop in headphones and listen to them instead of looking at them, that would, no offense, dude.
But you're just looking at him like, oh, why is this guy mansplaining this shit to me?
It did feel a little mansplaining in his armchair. But if I treat it like a podcast and pop my earbuds in there, I think I could do it. I think that he's got some good gems,
I thought that the borrowing structure thing, to me, it's not very spiritual. And I've read like quite a few like structure books, and I just think for your first, I think that that's a really good exercise, and I do want to do it actually. Especially getting into this new genre. I think that you should be protective over your pantsing time and over this rough drafting time, and not be too, I don't know.
Well, are you thinking of it more as like actually writing it down and using it as the solid structure? Because I'm thinking, as he's saying that, as like, I'm pulling from Sex Life, I'm pulling from Clue, I'm pulling from Glass Onion, and I'm just keeping those things in mind.
Yeah.
I still feel like it's pantsing.
Yeah, it's totally, I think it is totally pantsing.
I mean, you said it, that you're like Dune and all of these things are kind of like, I think having it in the back of your mind is what he's saying. You think he's saying like really like create an outline with it?
Yeah, like basically like watch Glass Onion.
Sure.
And go, okay, what was the first part of this movie like achieving, and like how can I do that in the same way?
I guess that is more explicitly what he did say.
Like
I guess
you could be like, oh, everybody arrives at the Glass Onion, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna get everybody to arrive at the home.
Right.
Sure. There's like this beat and this beat and this beat and this beat, and that's how you create a murder mystery, and following along that to tell the story. But I think sometimes we have those stories like ingrained in us.
I think so. Well, that's how I think
have
of
those
it.
structures. If we like them and we've been consuming them our whole lives, you sort of know what the beats are already.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But we'll see. This is your second time pantsing a book.
Sure is.
And what's going to happen to Caroline?
Oh, Caroline is going to just sit in the back for a little while. I think she's used to it.
Okay.
I definitely cannot stop writing this one now. Like whatever Muse is on my shoulder is definitely like
horny.
And maybe a little murderous.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we are going to a luncheon.
Oh, yeah, right.
So if anybody remembers my story from last episode, basically I had this story about sitting down with an agent, and he was exhausted and he had already seen like 100 writers that day. I feel like I'm talking about Ruby Blue or whoever that lady was who had sex with 100 people in a day.
Oh, right. Oh,
Baby Blue or whatever. So he was basically the Baby Blue of agents.
This guy. Look at his face when you say that.
Hopefully he never listens to this. So I sat down with him. I wanted him to read my work and represent me as an agent. And he said that, your writing really has to jump off the page. It has to sparkle, blah, blah, blah. It has to have that X factor. And I pushed my 5 pages across the table at him, and I said, does this have it? And he was like, ugh. He almost like rolled his eyes. Like he was exasperated with me, and he put his glasses on and he looked down at the page for like 2 seconds, and he looked back up at me and he said, no. Sorry. And then I was like, Okay. All right. Touche. And anyways, I'm sort of a part of this thing called the Women's National Book Association, the San Francisco chapter. I think I'm a member of it. Either way, I get the emails. And they're doing this free luncheon on Thursday where it's called How to Work with a Literary Agent. And I signed up and Rachel signed up. And then I looked at the picture of the agent and I'm like, oh my God, it's Andy Ross.
It's
that guy that told me that my work does not sparkle. So you know what? I'm going to go on there and I'm seeking my revenge.
Oh, no, not
That
revenge.
is what I'm doing.
Andy, she's coming for you.
I'm going to tell him that he doesn't fucking sparkle in front of everyone.
Okay. So
No, we're going to learn.
Are we going to record after we go to the luncheon? Should we lunch and record?
Lunch and record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
We
do
could
it.
be together when we're at the thing.
Let's do it. I'll make us lunch. You want it?
Really?
Yeah, I would love to.
Oh my gosh, she makes the best food, you guys. Okay, so
Yay.
that's going to be the next episode. We might drop a story time. We promise.
We did.
It might be before this, though.
We're going to do a story time like once a month. We don't need to do it this moment.
Yes.
We will be doing another story time probably, I think every 3 episodes we thought, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
once a month. So
We're going to read
I don't know.
good short stories, and it might be stuff that we're working on that we've talked about a lot that we're like, okay, well, we might as well share it with you. Or it might be other people's work.
Sure. Yes. One of the women that girls, she's not yet a woman. She's under 18.
She is. Oh, muffin.
One of the girls in my class, she is a very extremely talented poet. And she read last night at our local county fair. They had a poetry section, and some of her work was really beautiful. And I asked her if I could share some. So hopefully she will. I won't say her name yet in case she's like absolutely never mentioned me ever.
I don't know you, you old bitch. No.
I am. I could be her mom.
Well, maybe she needs a mommy.
No, her mom was there. She seemed very supportive.
Okay.
Her mom should continue to be her mom.
Well, when I was like under 18 and I was doing my spoken word poetry and stuff, I mean, if I had a writer, you know, a woman in her 30s and wanted to spend time with me and talk about writing, I always wanted older people to notice me and spend time with me and not think that I was really annoying.
Yeah, I was really happy to be able to support her last night.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I hope she thinks of me that way. Aww. Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, well, great. So we'll see you guys again soon.
Yep, we'll have our next episode after lunch.
Okay, bye.
Bye.